In the 1950s, a completely new form of music was born. It was known as rock and roll. Music-based radio stations proliferated the scene for the first time. Record players were readily available and affordable, and teenagers began to acquire disposable cash. Listening to music was easy and inexpensive. Recordings flooded the market, and teenagers found a new sense of freedom and excitement. Rock and roll took off. Alberta was a hotbed for the development of the new style of music. Country artists started playing rock and roll, and young musicians formed their own rock and roll bands and headed to the recording studios. Nearly 50 years later, many of these same artists converged on Edmonton from all across the country to once again make rock and roll history. This time, instead of gathering around a single microphone in a tiny radio station studio, they performed in one of the country's finest high-tech concert facilities, the fabulous Winspear Centre. From the Winspear Centre in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Global Country and SuperOldies.com present the Alberta Rock and Roll Reunion. Join us now with many of the original artists who made Alberta rock and roll history. The Nomads, Jerry Palmer, Shirley Field, Terry Lodge with a tribute to the Walkers, Alan Lee and the Peppermints, the Royal Family, Bill Hirsch with a tribute to Buddy Knox, Don E. Scott, Dick Dameron, Joe Kozak, the Rockatoons, the Happy Feeling, the Classics, Mel Deegan, with special guests, the Shack Shakers, and George Tomsko of the Fireballs, and featuring a special appearance by Wes Dacus of the Rebels.
And I'm still in the business.
Hosted by Don E. Scott and me, John Barry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, let yourselves drift back in time, back when you were a teen. For all of you young people, are you back there yet? Please enjoy the roots of rock and roll. This is Alberta Rock and Roll Reunion!
Edmonton in the 50s and the 60s rock and rolled into a large number of local bands.